Welcome to Clock In with Lynn. Happy Black History Month. I have a show for you today, honey. I'm so excited. I hope everybody's good. It is just a beautiful hump day. It's Wednesday. It's just love all in the air. So we need to talk about some of that, okay? So yes. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments, and I can see if we get those answered for you. But I am so excited about our guest for today. I'm so excited. Actually, he's my first male on the show. I guess I needed some little testosterone on here, okay? So I'm excited. I hope everybody got their energy up because it's about to go down, y'all. So listen. Please. Let me make sure I have the comments on. I do have the comments on, ladies and gents. So feel free to put the comments in the comment section. And I would love to see if I can get those answered for you. So how's everybody doing? Like, listen, the rain has stopped out here. We had storms out here in LA. Y'all know we a little spoiled with this like 70 and up degree weather, child. We used to sunshine, but we got mudslides. But I clocked in safe. Did y'all see me clock in safe on Facebook? To let y'all know that I was okay. Lynn is okay. Clocking in with Lynn is okay. So yes, please let me know who's on, where you're from, all that good stuff. I am so I think he's here. So listen, he really does not need an introduction. However, for those who've been living under a rock for 29 years, I'll let y'all know. He's a TV host, actor, author, comedian, father, TV personality. He's hosted Fox Sports, ESPN, Fox Soul, seen on Netflix. And y'all, he was on one of the biggest reality shows, The Real Housewives of Atlanta. He just launched his podcast, Done There, Been That. I want to welcome this wonderful person to my show, Mike Hill.
What's good? How are you? Thanks for having me. I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh my God. How are you, Mike Hill?
I'm incredible. Amazing. Blessed to be here. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate you.
Thank you for being here because I know you are busy. And I was just saying you have your new podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about your new podcast?
Yeah, I got a new podcast. We just shot our 8th episode, I believe. So we've been doing it for about 2 months now, called Been There, Done That. And it's a look at looking at sports through a different lens. So we can take a sports topic, but we'll talk about it in a way that non-sports fans can understand it and increase the conversation a little bit more. And also, there are topics in which we both have been involved in. I have a co-host named Eunice Elliott. So we'll take some situations that an athlete that is in right now, and we'll kind of spin it and talk about our own personal issues that we've had similar to that athlete. So it's been pretty cool, a lot of fun, and our 8th episode just came out yesterday.
Awesome. Congratulations on that. So who you got for the Super Bowl then?
Who I got winning? I don't really care, to be honest with you, because my team sucks and they didn't make it to the playoffs. But at the same time, I want San Francisco to win, only because we haven't seen San Francisco win a Super Bowl in almost 3 decades. But if I had to put money on it, I'd go for Kansas City, because I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes, and they just have so much Super Bowl experience, and I think that's a major factor in any Super Bowl. So if I had to put money on it, I'd put Kansas City. If I'm going with my heart, I'm going with San Francisco.
Well, yeah, my team is the Cowboys, and they was,
Well, I might as well log off now.
No.
I'm gonna log off right now. I thought I liked you. I thought you were cool, but obviously you like violence. Obviously you like a lot of pain and torture. But that's okay. I feel sorry for Cowboys fans because, like I said, a lot of them are delusional and they think every year is going to be their year. But like I told somebody else, I said, Cowboys fans, your team is like having a father who's a drug addict. You know what I mean? You want to love them. You want to care for them. You think he's gonna come around, you think he's gonna do right, but in the end, he's just gonna disappoint you. So there you have it.
Okay, now wait a minute.
But he can go to rehab. He can get it together one day. Hopefully he will. I'm just saying.
Well, I got love from them. I'm from Arkansas, so they're near and dear, close to my heart. Okay. But yes, let's just get on into this. So it is Valentine's Day month. It's the love month.
Okay.
So let's talk about these dating streets. What are you dating out here? What you got going on here, Mike Hill? What you got going on out here in these streets?
I'm here. I'm doing what I need to do. I'm just enjoying life. Happiness is what's more important for me right now. Like I always said that, after I had such a public relationship last time, that if I ever got into a relationship again, nobody would ever know about it. So I make a joke that, my next girlfriend's name is going to be called Ghost. Like, her nickname will be Ghost. So yeah, kind of exists. I don't know if you're a Power fan. Like Ghost was the main character, whatnot, and his nickname was Ghost because people, even though you saw him, you didn't know who he was, you didn't know what he did. So that'll be exactly what it is. So my next girlfriend, whenever I have a girlfriend, her name's gonna be Ghost. Just not going to talk about it that much, but yeah, I'm I haven't given up on love. I haven't given up on trying to find the right person and being with the right person. So we'll see what happens. I just hadn't gotten it right yet.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying that with you being in such a high profile marriage, divorce, all of that, how has that impacted has it affected your dating life? Is that an issue? Or
yeah. I mean, yes and no. I think there are a lot of people that, obviously were big fans of the show or just knew about the culture and kind of knew who I was from that or whatnot. And that could have diluted the pool a little bit. Some people will say they didn't know, and then I find out they do know or whatnot. And then there are some people who are just totally oblivious to anything that I've done over the last 3 or 4 years when it came to the reality show world or whatnot. And I love that. So it's both yes and no. I will say that it makes, because of the reputation that I got coming from that show, I think it made it harder because people have this perception of you that ain't necessarily true. I've done things in the past, which I've talked about, which I've been very honest about, been very transparent. As a matter of fact, all the things that came out on that show, I brought out on that show. Nobody revealed it. It wasn't like I got you. Another housewife came up and said something about something like that. It was things that I brought out only because I was trying to help a future generation of people. And in a little way, it backfired, but at the same time, I would do it all over again because I don't have regrets, and I did it for a good purpose, to try and teach the younger generation to not to make the same mistakes that I did. But presently, it's okay, it's fine. I'm not lacking on anything, but at the same time, man, my happiness is what's most important. So if a person is in my life, that person has to make themselves be happy themselves, and then B, not take away happiness from me. So that's the main thing. I can rock with anybody, whoever you are, but once again, you gotta find happiness in yourself and not drain me of mine.
You better speak, Mr. You better speak, Mr. Mike Hill. Yeah. So you just speaking of happiness, do you see yourself being married again?
I think a lot of people know I like to try. I've been there 3 times.
Because Cynthia Bailey, she was your third wife,
yep.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, do you think that's something that you would want to do again? Or you just marriage?
First of all, I never say never, because after the second one, I said, I told my friends, if y'all ever hear me saying I'm getting married again, please just take me out, because it ain't me. An alien is taking over my body. It must be artificial intelligence. That ain't me. Just pow, take me out right now. Obviously, my friends ain't nothing, because they allowed me to do it again. But no, it was awful good. Now the way I feel is like, if the right person is in my life, and if God puts it on my heart to take it to that next step, who knows? I don't know. I do have a joke though, like when I was at a wedding a couple of months ago, and somebody asked me to get into the group of men where they throw the garter, and I was like, I would rather have COVID. I would rather catch COVID with one lung and pneumonia than catch that garter. That's the way I felt a couple of months ago. So at your friend Kelly's part, when it was at Kelly's wedding.
Oh yeah.
That's how I felt. They like, get in there. I'm like, nah, I think I've been there enough. I'm fine. I don't need help with the garter. I don't need that kind of luck. I'm fine.
So let's talk about that. So since you've done it 3 times,
mm-hmm.
And I'm divorced as well. I've done it once. What do you think makes a good marriage? Like, just can you chime
Mm.
on that just a little bit? What makes a good marriage? I mean,
Oh,
you've had the experience.
yeah. Well, obviously, if I knew, I'd probably still be in the first one or the second one or third. What I do know
What's
is
the
that
learning lesson of it though? So what did you learn from that? What did you learn that would you would if you decided to get married for the fourth time? What did you learn in those marriages that you can correct or improve in the next relationship?
I can speak for myself, and that's me being prepared because each one of my marriages were different, and the reason why it didn't work was similar but different in the same regard. Because I wasn't whole in the first two, and I said,
No.
yeah, I wasn't whole in the first two, and I needed to find myself and be who I was, and not allow somebody to supplement something I was missing. In the third one, I was whole, and I felt like, okay, I don't need to be married, but I want to be married. I want to be with somebody, and I felt like the person I was with felt the same way. So I think the main thing is making sure that you're whole, making sure that you don't necessarily need to be in this relationship, but you want. And I think we can talk about that a little bit more because I think when I tell people don't need to be in a relationship, they're like, well, I want to have that. I'm like, well, you want to have that, but it's not necessarily a necessity in your life. You're not going to die. It's not going to be like your life is going to end. All thing you need in this life is water, air, and like protection. Yeah, and you need that something to guard you. That's about it. But the other things you don't necessarily need. This is what you want. This is what you desire. This is what you should have. Don't get me wrong. You make yourself whole, but it's not necessarily something that you need. And communication has to be effective. You have to be able to talk to one another and not hold things in. Now, there's also some times when there's a safe space when somebody tries to communicate with you. You have to communicate effectively. When I talk about communicating and sharing your feelings, the way you come across to people also matters, because I will say that, there have been times when we have communicated, but the communication hasn't been effective when the tone wasn't right. The intent wasn't right. The way you came at somebody wasn't right. I'm talking about both sides. So I'm not talking about my wives, anybody like that. I'm talking
Right.
about how I came at somebody. So you have to know your partner in order to come at them the right way. You can't be passive aggressive if somebody doesn't want you to be passive aggressive. You can't be on this tick where you just coming at somebody and accusing somebody of something and you don't know the full story, or you just kind of got part of it. You have to ask questions and whatnot and lead up and have those conversations. So I think effective communication is key, but also knowing that you are whole yourself and that you don't need to be in this relationship, but you want to be in a relationship. I think those are the two main things. And if you can find somebody that can match that, where you're whole, you got good communication, and somebody else is like that, I always say it's like a 2-layer cake. If you got a 2-layer cake, you got to have one cake that's completely whole, no slices missing. And you want to have somebody that is exactly like you so they can be on top, and then everything else is the icing on top. You add your sprinkles, your candles, and all that type of stuff like that, and you got a perfect relationship. But it's not always like that. And be patient. Be patient. Get to know the person that you're with. Don't just automatically go into a relationship and automatically trust somebody. Let them earn your trust. And I tell people now, I'm like, hey, you don't have to trust me, because people don't trust me, obviously, because of some of the things that's happened in the past. I'm like, I don't want you to trust me. Get to know me and then learn to trust me. And then if I gain your trust, then we can move forward. If not, hey, what we had was intended for what God intended it for, and we can move on.
Beautifully said. That makes me. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever been cheated on?
Mm-hmm.
You have.
I have been. And so people look at the perpetrator and don't think sometimes the perpetrator is the victim, right? And I'm not blaming anybody else, because my actions are my actions. What I've done in the past, I take full accountability for. I have no excuses for the things I've done, but there could have been trauma that led to my action. So in essence, it could have been a reaction to something else, or hurt. They heard the story, hurt people. That's happened to me in the past, where if I look back on my trauma when I wrote my book and I finally started getting therapy and realizing the why I was doing something. Because what women always ask is, why do men cheat? Why do men do this? Why do they do that, or whatever? But when you tell them why, sometimes they don't want to hear the answer. It could be trauma. It could be something that happened in the past. It was the way they were raised. That person could have been hurt themselves, and they just don't allow themselves to completely open up or fall or trust anybody else. So they protect themselves by doing certain things. For me, it was me being cheated on early on in life, finding out about it, and it affected me for a long time where I couldn't trust anybody. And even though it happened when I was a teenager, it affected me for a long period of time where I couldn't like be involved without feeling like I needed to have something that was like a safety hatch, to be honest with you. And I know that's no excuse. And I know people are like, oh, your little childhood trauma. We go through this all the time. But you know what? Listen to a man's feelings sometimes. Just like we have to listen to a woman's feelings, you got to pay attention. Emotions are very important. So yeah, something that happened to me when I was 16 years old, where I got cheated on by the first person I ever loved and the first person I ever told I loved. That had a deep impact and effect on me for a long period of time. So it didn't allow me to trust. And it wasn't until I started getting the help that I need, the realizing some of the trauma and all that type of stuff like that, and cleaning that up and healing myself, that I was able to say, okay, well, you know, I can move on. And now if I'm with somebody, I can gain their trust and move on and move on to those steps that we need to be taking. Shaq even said something recently about not being able to open up to a woman or whatever. I felt Shaq on that. I also felt that Shaq needed to get healed, because we have to get to a point where we have to show those emotions to our woman, because if you can't show your emotions to the woman that you're with the wrong woman, and vice versa. If the woman can't show the emotions to the man she's with the wrong man. But women and other men have to allow men to show these emotions to get that pain out, so that they can continue to heal or begin the healing process to get to where they need to get in life, so that they can have healthy relationships, whether it's platonically or in friendly relationships.
Right.
I mean, romantic relationships, platonic or romantic relationships.
Right. And yes, I know exactly what you're talking about with the whole Shaq thing, because I felt that when he said that. I'm just like, that was hurtful for me when I heard him say that, saying that he could not open up to a woman in fear that she would throw it back in his face. And I'm just like, that's awful, because I feel like both genders, male or female, we should be able to open up to our partners.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be my next question for you. So how do you, because you have 2 daughters, right?
I do.
Do you give them dating advice, or what do you tell them? Like, just give me one thing that you stand on with them.
Oh, I stand on business when it comes to this. I've always told them, I said, first and foremost, know your worth. You can ask my daughters right now. That's the main thing I'd say. Always know your worth, and do not settle for anything. When anyone settles, like, I think, and it's more so for ladies, and I feel bad because of everything. Like, a lot of times a woman feels like, okay, tick, 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 tick the clock. I got to have a baby. I got to get married. I got to do this. And I'm like, don't settle. Don't settle thinking your time's going to run out, because you don't want to run into the wrong person at an early age and realize you made a mistake at a big age. You don't want to do that. And you waste a lot of years of your life or whatever. So do not settle. Once again, it goes back to being whole and being who you are and being happy and loving yourself. Because when you feel that way and you feel like, I don't necessarily need it, you want it, you desire it, but you don't need it, you're not in a rush to go and get it, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. So I teach my daughters all the time, like, hey, know your worth, and make sure you don't put up with any of the stuff that, I did early on. And I'm very honest. And one of the reasons I wrote my book, Open Mic, one of the reasons I came out and spoke about that even on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, is because, once again, I was trying to help future generations, not only of Black men, but of young Black ladies, or just of men and women, period, who have gone through similar circumstances, and to understand that, hey, these are the mistakes that I made in my life. These are the things that I was taught. I was taught wrong. These are the things that hurt me when I was young. I should have gotten help a long time ago. I should have gotten healed a long time ago. I am doing that these days. You can get it now, so you can be a better person for the woman that you're with and for yourself, and also not let it affect the people that are around you in any kind of way. So when I tell my daughters to know their worth, I really mean that. And so one of the reasons why I really started going out there and getting that help is because I saw something in somebody my daughter was dating.
Okay.
I saw through them, I saw myself.
Oh,
My oldest daughter, when she first started dating, she was dating this guy. She was, said she was in love, like all, little girls do when she's 16 years old or whatever. And this boy hurt her. And I got mad. As a father, the protection comes in. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like, man, I want to hurt this little boy. Obviously, I'm not going to put my hands on the child, but I wanted to. And just being totally honest. But then when I looked at him, I heard what he did. I'm like, Mike, that's the shit you do or you've done. You know what I mean? How can you get mad at this little boy? Now, this is like 7, 8 years ago. How can you get mad at this little boy for the things that you've done in your past and some of the things that you haven't gotten rid of? So it made me say, well, man, I got daughters, and the women that I'm affecting, they got fathers too. And their fathers love their daughters. So if I feel this way about my daughter, man, I'm like, man, I don't want karma to come back on my daughters. Now, do I claim to have wings on by any means? Absolutely not. Am I cleaning my ways up? Am I trying to be a better man? Absolutely. I'm trying to be that every day. But when it comes to my daughters, I will always try to lead by example and let them know. And they hold me accountable too. My daughters will hold me accountable. My daughters
are they, Mike?
Ashley and Kayla. When Ashley and Kayla, when something goes wrong, if I'm in a relationship, they were like, Dad. I mean, like, they are on me worse than anybody on social media could ever be on me. So believe me, because of some of the traumas and some of the things I did to their mom, so it's it's regretful, but at the same time, it's not something. Well, I should say I'm sorry for it, but I always look at things as life lessons, and hopefully they take some of the things I've done in the past and how I've tried to change my ways and what I'm trying to be now. Hopefully they understand that and they know that they can find a better man than I ever was. And I pray that's what they do.
I absolutely love that. I love your transparency. Like, I love all of this. Like, the world needs this. I'm so appreciative that you're just letting it all out. This is just, you don't know what you're doing for the people.
Well, I think it's some, and sometimes I have a trepidation about doing it because obviously I've been burned because I did it before. I did that, and all of a sudden you get labeled as a person that you used to be and not who you're trying to be. And listen to what I'm saying, trying to be, because I'm still, I admit, like, I'm a man. I'm going through, like, if I'm in a relationship or something like that, do I flirt? I'm a flirter. I do that all the time and stuff like that. I do. And I know some of it could be inappropriate, it could be wrong. And I'm trying to get out of that. So, like, you asked me if I'd ever get married again. Before I get married, I'm gonna make sure that I am 1000% on point. Like, okay, I can't be inappropriate in any kind of way. You know what I mean? And not say I was inappropriate in my last marriage or whatever. Did I flirt with women that came up and smiled or whatever? Yeah, people do that. I just think if somebody's gonna take this and take this the wrong way. Oh, he must have been didn't cheat, didn't do anything like that. Both me and my ex were people who are very friendly, and things could be considered flirting or inappropriate or whatever, went both ways and whatnot. But that's what we knew about one another, and we accepted that with one another. But somebody on the outside looking in could look at it and say, well, that's inappropriate or whatever. So I have to make sure that whoever I'm in a relationship with, and I always suggest that anybody that's in a relationship know what your rules are, know how to play the game. Like, even when I first met her, I'm like, okay, what's the rules? What are we playing here? So, if somebody comes in your bedroom and you got on lingerie and that man is taking pictures of you, am I allowed to have that happen? You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about that. I'm just saying it's got to go both ways. So tell me what the rules are, and I can play by the rules.
Let's talk about the rules. I'm glad you brought that up. So the rules, because I watched the show. The show. You were saying that you were okay with having female friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that okay for the woman to have male straight friends?
Absolutely. I have no problem.
No problems.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, like, there are a lot of men that listen to what I say sometimes. I get it from both sides, right? I get it from men. I'm like, oh, you're a simp. Oh, you let this woman do this, whatever. I would never let my girl ever have a single male friend or whatever. I'm very secure in who I am, to be honest with you. And I'm not allowing or saying not allowing. I am not saying that this woman can have single male friends just so I can have single female friends. That is not that. I'm not doing tit for tat. All I'm saying is, if you have male friends who are just your friends, who are platonic, that's cool. If you had them in your life and they was in your life and they was calling you all the time or whatever, that is cool. I'm not telling you just because I'm in your life, all of a sudden that gets cut off. I just don't think you cut friendships off. This is me personally. I'm not speaking for everybody. I don't think you cut friendships off just because you get into a relationship. Now, there are boundaries. Don't get me wrong. If this is calling you at 2 o'clock in the morning, it's probably not going to happen anymore unless we all on the three-way. You know, we're on the conference line. You know, he's calling us. But once again, if you have friends who are single, that means I have a friend, a new friend who is your friend. So anybody that you have in your life in the past, that person becomes a part of my life too, and vice versa. So as a matter of fact, my last marriage, I would say all of Cynthia's male single friends, straight single friends, I should say, male single straight friends, were somebody that she was in a relationship with in the past. That's how secure I was. Everybody. I mean, seriously. That's so.
Yeah, that's rare. Then that's rare.
And people lost their mind. As a matter of fact, I've interviewed two of them.
That's rare, Mike. Everybody can't do that.
I actually interviewed two of them. I had two of them on my show when I was doing the talk show. I've done it, you know, and people know who they are. So it's for the record. Yeah. Jason Williams, Leon. I interviewed two of them, and they're cool. I have no problem with that. And they were welcome to come by the house and all that type of stuff like that. Obviously, Leon was Noel's dad. So yeah, we it's still cool to this day. I have no problem, no qualms, no issues, anything like that. There have been times when I've been around people that she's introduced me to, did not tell me that she had been with them in the past, and I figured it out because I feel it. I understand that. Now, that is one of the rules I will have. I'm like, if you have a single friend that is of the opposite sex and that person is in your life, all I need you to tell me is just let me know. If that person that you've been with, now I don't need to know your history, right? I don't need to know your entire history. But if somebody from your past, your sexual past is in your life, I don't need to know about it. But if that person from your past is in my presence, I need to know that. That's all I'm asking you to do.
So what difference does that make? I just want to know, just out of curiosity, what difference does that make?
It makes a lot of difference. Now, like if the person just happens to be there, I ain't like, oh, well, you know, we go to a party. I'm like, well, you know, I was with him. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if that person is in my presence where A, I'm sitting down for lunch with this person, having dinner with this person. B, I'm interviewing this person, or that person comes over by the house or something like that, and he's hanging out and spending a lot of time with me. I would like to know. I just want that heads up. It doesn't make a difference at the end of the day because, like I said, I trust you. I might not trust the guy, but I trust you, and I have to trust you. So that's the way I look at things when it comes to that perspective. Because there have been times when I have been in relationships outside of my last marriage where I did not know, and the person did not give me a heads up, and then that other person started saying things or doing things that made me realize that he had been with my ex, been with my woman. You know what I mean? And that puts me in a compromising situation, or that puts me in a very uncomfortable situation. And it could lead to, a physical altercation. If somebody says something that's really, how can I put this, disrespectful in a manner in which I feel disrespected, I'm still a man. I'm still going to defend myself, and I'm still going to say something about it. I know that's all machismo and all that type of stuff like that. But if I know, then if they try and get crazy or say something stupid, I'm like, dummy, I already know. What you think I don't know? You know what I mean? So I think that's just one of the rules that I have, and I do the same thing. So I'm not going to go around and say, hey, I slept with A, B, and C, D, and all these women that's in this room I've been with or whatever I've been. I'm not going to say that. But if the woman is in my house, if you know I have female friends or in the past, and I will definitely tell you. I will absolutely tell you before I bring that person around you. That's just a heads up I have.
And that's a level of respect, absolutely. Because I've been in a situation too with my ex where, women, our intuition is just over the top. This woman walked in and I was just like, I pulled it, like nothing happened, no interaction, no nothing, but I felt something. Mm-hmm. I said, you were like, what? He knew it was so strong for me. So he had to like come clean, like, yeah. And I'm like, I felt it. Mm-hmm. So I thank you for being honest for that, because we honestly, the thing is, I think our culture, our community. We just got to be more honest. It is a lot of things that we need to be healed from. I'm an advocate for therapy. I've been in therapy. And I just feel like I just want to get this thing on track. That's one of the reasons why I created this platform, because I want to show the positivity of Black love, all love in general. But I just know that it's there. I know that I feel it. I know I'm not giving up on us. I'm not
No.
giving up on us at all. I don't care what happened. I don't care what we've done. I like, that's just not my thing. I just I just want us to unite and get this thing back on track. And
Right.
speaking about getting things back on track, what do you feel about, because I'm traditional, what do you think about like gender roles? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I think a man should be allowed to be a man. A woman should be allowed to be a woman. Now, as far as like traditional gender roles, I mean, I don't necessarily believe in that, because I think the world has changed. I think our lifestyles have changed. The way a woman moves about society has changed. She has more power. She's running her own businesses. I am a person that believes in a strong Black woman running things. And once again, I want somebody that doesn't need me. I want somebody that wants me. So how does that? That means that she's already taking care of herself. That means if she's out there and she's running a company as a CEO, then so be it. I'm not insecure to feel like if a woman has more power, more popularity than me, I'm not intimidated by that. Obviously, that was the situation when I was with Cynthia, whatever. I know who I am. I know what I bring to the table. I know I hold it down or whatever. So I think I have no problem with it, but society still has a problem with it, because I was, how can I put this? I wasn't criticized, but I was criticized. People thought that they used to say things like, "Oh, he's an opportunist," whatever that means. They hear that on the opportunist. I'm like, you don't know my resume? Like, you need to Google me. I mean, like, I'm not bragging anything like that, but I've been on national television.
29 years of it. Go.
I'm just saying. I mean, I think I got a couple of things on the plate. You know what I mean? Like, the resume is pretty tight. I've lived a really good life, and I'm not bragging about it, but I'm a powerful person too. I've had power as well, but I'm still getting there and whatnot. But I think society looks at that sometimes as gender roles. If the woman is somebody who's popular, who has all this fame, whatever, and then she gets with somebody who is maybe not as popular or whatever, but still doing his thing, then all of a sudden the man is looked at as lesser of. You look at it even right now with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has been killing the league. He's a future Hall of Famer, one of the best, if not the best tight end the NFL has ever seen. And a lot of people know who he is, but of course he's been introduced to a different audience. And now people are looking at, well, I don't even know who that guy is before, he was with her or whatever. That doesn't mean he wasn't somebody. So right. I think society needs to change their mindset, because as women grow and they become more popular and they become more powerful or whatever, obviously they're looking for love. Is Stedman looked at the same way? You wouldn't know who Stedman is if it wasn't for Oprah. People would say that, but Stedman had a powerful lifestyle before Oprah. Stedman was a very successful person and still is a very successful person without Oprah. He just happens to be Oprah's man, who's one of the most powerful people in the entire world. So I think we need to, as a society, stop looking at the gender roles and judging men based on the woman they get if the woman just happens to be a little more popular. I enjoy it. I don't mind it. I want somebody, once again, at the end of the day, who's going to respect me, though, because I am, at the end of the day, the Bible says the man is going to lead. I am going to have I'm going to have the pants on in the family, to be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you how to act. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life or whatever at the same time. But I feel like as the man of the house, I am the man of the house, meaning I am the head of the household. Now, we got equal say when everything comes down to it. It won't be a dictatorship. It will definitely be a democracy. But at the end of the day, I think all ties are broken by the man of the house. And I believe in being the man. So that is the only part of the gender, equalities or whatever, or the roles that we have right now, that I believe you go back to the old fashioned ways of doing things when it comes to that. When I'm in my house, I want peace. When you're in your house, when you get into this house, I'm going to give you a peace and provide that peace. I'm not asking you to go cook me the big piece of chicken. I'm not asking you to go and grease my scalp. I'm not asking you to go run my bath water. You can go to your 9 to 5. You can go run your business. You can do all that. But when we get back in the house, I'm the king. I'm still the king. And I just feel that way. So That's the only thing when I look at gender roles where I'm like, man, give me my peace when I come in the house because I deal with enough when I go outside those doors. And I definitely will give you your peace when you come into this house. But you ain't got to go cook my dinner. You ain't got to wash the dishes. You ain't got to do all that stuff like that. If we're both bosses, you know what? We can get somebody to do that for us. We can pay somebody to do that. You know what I'm saying? We can so yeah, we're all good when it comes to that. I don't need that.
And you save a lot of time like that. You got more time to be with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I got more time to do what I do and you do what you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So let's see. You just mentioned the equal say. I got to ask this question because I'm so tired of seeing this online. I'm just over it, and I just want to hear it from you. Who is the prize, the man or the woman? Who is the prize, Mike Hill?
Who is the prize? We're both the prize. We're both present.
Okay,
So
I love that.
We're both the prize. You know, so when women say they're the prize, okay, yeah, you are a prize, obviously. But you know what? I had to have something that you wanted in order for you to win me too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Think about it. So if you're the prize, if you are the prize and I'm down here, like, why would you be with me if I'm not a prize? If you're a queen, why would you want something that's below a queen? The only thing that's equal like a king and a queen is a king. You need a king, right? So a king is a prize, a queen is a prize. Both of them, you're equal. So when it comes to being a prize, I don't think one's better than the other. Or as a matter of fact, I think sometimes when it comes to relationships, I think men are required to have more qualifications than women do. In a lot of ways, if you listen to what women are looking for, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that because I did lead with saying, do not settle. Whatever you want, don't settle for it. If you want somebody that does this, and this, then of course, that's what you desire. But if he does this, and this, then of course that means that man is a prize. Now he's got to be worthy of being a prize. He's got to be worthy of being called the king. Just like a woman has to be worthy of being called a queen as well. That's why I don't go around saying, hey, queen, I don't know if you're a queen. I don't know what you are. If I don't know you, I'm not going to call you a queen if I don't know you like that. I'm not going to say that, you know, but if you present yourself as a queen, I'll give you the respect as a queen. And I think men, instead of just being called kings just because they got a penis between their legs and they're grown, they're acting grown doesn't mean they're a king. You know, I do have a tattoo of a big lion because I'm Leo on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe I'm a king, but I believe I'm worthy of being a king. So when it comes to being a prize, I think both parties should be the prize. And if you look at it any other way, then you're doing a disservice to yourself and you think you're a prize. And what does that make that man? What do you think that if you're the prize, what does that make that man?
I never heard it like that. I like that though.
Is he lucky? I'm just saying. I'm asking. So when a woman says I'm the prize, so he won you, but why did he win you? Why is you know, he had to have been somebody special. He must have done something to win you, to get you, right? That makes him special too. So in a sense, that kind of makes him a prize as well.
Okay, so I love that. So I want to, everybody, can y'all stop asking who's the prize? I don't want to hear that no more. I'm over it. We both the prize. We both bring something to the table. Get over it. Lose that phrase. Lose it. It's done with it. I don't want to hear it no more. We both the prize. We both need each other, right, Mike?
Yeah, we both need each other. And I think you should want a man who feels that way. You should want a man who's very confident in himself, not cocky, but confident in himself. I remember going back to my last marriage here, everybody was talking about this, and it was like, I remember I used to kid with her because in the beginning, you know, it was a slow burn when we had the relationship and whatnot. And I remember one time she ghosted me, and I'm like, okay, you messing up on your blessing. I told you, I said, you missing out on your blessing. Now, it didn't end the way we thought it was going to end or whatever, but I feel like I was still a blessing in her life. And I know she was a blessing in my life because anybody that's in your life that comes in your life, I feel is a blessing if you learn the lesson that you were intended to learn while you was with that person. So everybody that comes through my life is a blessing. So I figured at that time, because I taught Cynthia a lot of stuff. Cynthia taught me a lot of stuff. We both became blessings to one another. Just because it didn't end the way we wanted it to end doesn't mean that we weren't blessings in one another's lives. We provided some at that particular time. But I told her, because this is the way I feel about myself. And it wasn't being cocky. It's my confidence and my self-assuredness that I felt like, hey, all right, you keep on messing around, you're missing out on your blessing. So I taught her something. And I know I do. You could ask her right now. I guarantee you she'll say she learned something from being with me.
Absolutely. I already know she learned from a Leo man. A Leo man, baby, they'll teach you when you don't want to be taught.
Yep.
So, yep. No, I'm a Leo woman, so I get you. I get you.
I feel you.
So I just want to talk on this topic. I don't know if you heard this or not. What do you feel about the whole Drea? She's 49, dating the 21-year-old. She's pregnant.
Oh, Jalen Green.
Yeah.
He's the Rockets. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Like, give your input on that.
Well, Dre is like 39, 40. Almost. She's
He's
like
21, the same age as her son.
Is okay. Jalen Green is grown, right? Jalen Green is a grown man. That's their business at the end of the day. Jalen Green's going to, so he's going to have to take care of a child for the next 18 years. Now, nobody forced this man to do anything at the age of 21. He knows how much money he makes. He knows the life that he has ahead of him. I just hope that he understands his responsibilities now as the father of a child. And I hope they understand their responsibilities now and don't allow it to be something that affects the child for years to come. I wish their relationship well. If they got a real strong, solid relationship, how dare me say something about them procreating and saying that, that's wrong, or I'm hearing people saying that she's a predator and all that type of stuff like that. I don't believe that. I believe he's legal, right? He is of legal age. Now, if she was messing with him when he was 15, 16 years old, and they saw that he was a 5-star recruit and she was grooming him and all that type of stuff like that, I get it. That's being a predator. But this man is grown, been in the NBA for a couple of seasons already. I'm pretty sure his mom and everybody else taught him, people get caught up. And there are people who get caught up, NBA players, NFL players, professional sports players, who get caught up with much worse people than Drea. Drea seems to be, although she's been on those shows and whatever, she seems to have a good head.
Solid to me. She said solid to me. I mean, I know what people want to say and put on her, but I don't have no problem with Drea.
I ain't got no problem with it at all.
She's 21.
Yeah, he's like I said. It's like, and then people saying that's come on, man. Like, let's stop that. I understand. Look, like I said, if he was 16, 17 years old and she was like, okay, I'm dating him since then and I'm kind of grooming him, I'm watching him grow up, and then when he gets his contract, then she does that. No, this man's been in the league for a while. Look, he made the decision of, having intercourse with her. He knows the ramifications of what could happen, the consequences that can happen, also the blessings of what could happen if that happened. And this is the decision they made. And I just pray that they have a lifelong good relationship, even if they're not together, for the sake of the child. That's all, man. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I love that. And I think I'm going to the last question. I have enjoyed your entire presence.
Oh, that's it. Okay, I'm talking.
I got one more question for you though.
Okay.
Is Shivery dead? Are we not opening the doors? What we doing out here, Mike Hill?
I think Shivery is not dead. I just think he's on life support for young men who have not been taught what chivalry is. So if you can, CPR is always going to be around, but if there's nobody to teach CPR, guess what happened? People going to die. You know what I mean? People going to die. You know what I'm saying? If the heart stops or whatever, there's no pulse. If nobody taught you CPR over the last 30 years, then it's going. But there are a few people out there that still know a little bit about CPR, so they can breathe life into another person's body and whatnot. Chivalry hasn't been taught, hasn't been passed down. One of the things you asked me about my daughters, one of the things I told my daughters, in addition to knowing their worth and not settling, is like, allow a man to be a man. And when I'm talking about being a man, you're talking about the roles of a man. That's part of it. Like, I'm talking about like not walking too far ahead of your girl or whatever, especially in the dark or whatever. Making sure that you walk on the right side of the street. I never understood that, because if the car jumps the curb, he gonna kill both of y'all. So it ain't like you a steel barrier.
He'll get you first.
He'll hit you first, but yeah, you're gonna run into her and y'all both going down. You're just gonna die on top of her. I never understood that. But at the same time, especially at night, go around, make sure you open the car door for the woman. Don't let her open any door at all. I'm that type of person. And I will, anytime I'm around like a young man and I see him around his mom, anybody I date, they got a child, or if it's like my nephew and his mom, I will make sure that young man does what he's supposed to do to become the gentleman that he's supposed to grow up to be, by being chivalrous towards that woman, even if it's not his girlfriend that's around him at that time. It could be his sister, It could be his mom, it could be his auntie, it could be any woman, but that young man around me is going to be chivalrous. So I'm passing along the tips of CPR of chivalry down, and I hope other people learn to do the same thing so that it doesn't die.
Yeah. No, I was actually in Vegas with a group of friends of ours that we do trips every year, and he's all into, it's still some out there. That's why I keep telling people there's still some out here. One of my girlfriends, her husband, he wanted to make sure that he was sitting facing the doorway.
Yes.
So he didn't want his back turned to the doorway, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And it's just like, it's still alive, but I just wanted to hear your intake on that and, just see what you felt about that, because I don't know. I just feel like, and like I said earlier, it saddens me that I feel like we're in war with each other, black men and black women, and watching these podcasts. I'm not feeling it at all. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to do this, because I said, I know there's positivity out there. I know there's still love out there. I know my heart. I know I have girlfriends that's got good hearts. I know I have guy friends that got good hearts. I'm not like going down. I'm not settling for that. And I even said it earlier on one of my little lives. I said, this is not settling season. That's why I'm glad that you actually said that earlier. But we just got to do better. We are so amazing.
Yeah.
We are so amazing. Mm-hmm. So amazing. And I just think we have to leave our legacy and leave like the right things to be left.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I'm glad that you're doing this because it's so needed. I talk about this all the time. And it goes both ways, because I have homeboys that will send me videos of all this misogynist stuff. And I'm like, man, look, this is not right. Look, we're not at war with these sisters, man. And then the sisters coming and saying, well, black men don't need another podcast to talk about relationships and all that type of stuff like that. And I'm somewhere in the middle, right? So I get it from both sides. You got to understand, when I say things and I'm talking to you about what I'm talking to you about, they're gonna be men and look at this simp ass nigga. You know what I mean? They're gonna say that. They're gonna be some women out there like, how dare him be able to speak or say anything because of what he's done in his past. Like, I can't speak on these issues and tell you about my mistakes and be transparent about it. And it makes other men bottle up when that happens, when you get that type of criticism, because you feel like you're gonna be just ruthlessly criticized to the point where you just want to shut up and you don't want to say anything because they don't want to hear what you have to say. And I always say, listening to somebody like me who has a past is probably best for you, to be quite honest with you, because it's probably the best for you, because if you have a minister or a pastor that's telling you about what happens in life if you don't do this and that and how you can overcome this, you want somebody probably with a past that has gone through the things that you're going through in life and experiencing some of the same temptations that you experienced in life or whatever, and went through it and how he got up, how he became a man of God. Or even if when the FBI is looking for a serial killer, who do they go get? They go get a serial killer and ask him questions and whatnot. So look, I have done things in the past and I'm not proud of, but you know what? I'm proud of the person that I'm becoming right now. And I think that we have got to do a better job. And I appreciate and I applaud you for trying to bring us together, because we are at war. And I can understand why there is some trauma for some of the sisters out there. So don't get me wrong, because you have been done terribly in the past. But I'm here to tell you, just like you said, Lynn, there are some really good men that are still out there. And there are some men who used to be terrible that are trying to become good men right now. And you got to please allow them a second chance to become good men and show you that we can come together and we can love. And we can't give up on that love. We're all going to make mistakes. We're not going to be perfect. But at the same time, if we understand those mistakes and we're transparent about those mistakes and we do things that we can to heal ourselves, to become better people, then we not only become a better person for ourselves, but we become better for one another. And we got to be able to do that together. So once again, I applaud you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. But we got to do the $1 million question though.
Okay.
Before you exit. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you already answered. I don't think you answered it. Okay. I think you did. But let's answer for all the people that's looking and lurking, child. I know y'all. I'm looking at the comments. Did you cheat on Cynthia Bailey?
No, absolutely not.
Thank you, God. Y'all heard it now. I want to hear it no more. He
Okay.
did not cheat on Cynthia Bailey, people.
Here's the thing. So people, I can say that till I'm blue in the face, and now I'm not even going. I can say it, and I've got a clear conscience when I say it or whatnot. I can say that to him, but she said it. She actually came out, said it. Dispelled any rumors and all that stuff like that. People are going to see what they want to see, and people are going to believe what they want to believe. At the end of the day, my conscience is clear, and I know that I gave it on my all, and it didn't cause the demise of our relationship. Now, I'll be honest with you. Was I the perfect husband? No. Was she the perfect wife? No. But we still had love for each other, and we respected each other to know that, hey, this is going in a direction that we don't want to go in at this age in our lives. And we're old enough to realize that we've been through things before that, you know what, we would much rather go our separate ways and stay together and be in a position where both of us are becoming unhappy with each other. And it leads to something where it goes into that direction where somebody does something that is unacceptable. You know what I mean? So, we were mature about that. So yeah, was I perfect? No. Did I cheat on her? Absolutely not.
I just want to applaud you, my Black brother. I applaud you. I applaud you for being so transparent, being so vulnerable. This is everything. Mm-hmm. We need this. We need more of this. We need more of this. And I appreciate you being here. You didn't have to do this.
Well, I will say once again, I will just always come back and say, please, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you understanding that. We just need more women like you that understands that. More men want to be transparent. More men want to open up. More men want to be emotional and show that type of stuff like that. But a lot of men, and I know this is even gonna go, y'all so afraid. Yeah, we hurt too. We need to be healed too. We all have gone through some kind of trauma in our lives in the past that has affected us. And a lot of us won't even accept it. A lot of us won't even admit it. They won't even admit it to their homeboy. You know what I mean? We've been hurt before, but we don't want to talk about it. We have no outlets a lot of times because we feel like we have nowhere to go. So I always say this, the key to a Black man healing is the woman out there, because everything men do, period, Black, white, Asian, and different and whatnot, 90% of it, 95% of it, we do for the satisfaction of a woman. Honestly, think about it. We go get our haircuts for women. We take care of our skin for women. We shower every day for women. We make money for women. We got clothes, houses, we got the money we show. Everything is to attract the opposite sex. It is. War start over women for the most part, to be quite honest with you, because it's power, all of that. So we want your approval, because if we get your approval, we get you and we get your attention. But if we show that weakness and you don't like that weakness, or we show, I shouldn't say weakness, we show we're putting in work or showing some emotions that you perceive as weakness, and you come at us and say we're weak, guess what we're going to do? We're not going to show that emotion. We're not going to show that transparency. But guess what? It's going to build up on the inside of us. Mm-hmm. It's going to sit there. It's going to linger. And we're going to feel like all this energy on the inside that's terrible. And guess how it's going to come out towards you? Toxic. And that's not what you want. So please allow the pressure cooker to let some of that steam out every now and then. Because if not, eventually that steam is going to come out. When that steam comes out, it's going to burn you. It really is. That's not a warning. That's just the truth. That's just God honest truth. So please, we need more sisters to understand that we have emotions, we have feelings too. And I understand y'all got it. We feel y'all, and we're there for you, and we empathize with you, and we sympathize with you as well. But at the same time, it goes both ways. There's a difference between being crying about everything that's going on in life, and a person that says, "Baby, today I'm not feeling great. I'm not well. I just need a moment," and letting it go. And you there to pat him, it's going to be all right. And then an hour later, he's back to being a man like, I'm good. I get that way. I had to learn how to get that way. The reason I know we didn't get into, I know we run out of time. Even the reason I wrote my book is because of that. I had all that. I told you I got hurt when I was 15, 16 years old. And I held it in for 30 some years, and I affected so many lives. And I had all this pain, this torture, this turmoil. I had all this depression that was inside of me. I had all this trauma that had built up, that I had suppressed for so many years because I had no outlet of letting it out. I didn't go to therapy. I wouldn't cry in front of a woman again. Wouldn't do it. Just wouldn't do it. Wouldn't show that type of emotion. I always had to have something, just in case. Always had to do that. And I was at a point in my life 6 years ago where if you look on paper on the outside looking in, you would think Mike Hill's living his best life. He's got this money. He's got a nice home, cars, got all this. He's getting exposure. He's on national television, all that stuff like that. I'd go home. I'd be miserable and I would cry. And I'm wondering, why the hell am I crying? Why are these tears coming to my eyes like this? What's going on? And then something spoke to me and said, you got to write, because people have always told me that I had a story to tell. And once I started writing and all that shit came out of me, man, I started feeling the relief. I started feeling like, man, this was coming out and I needed to let it out.
Right.
But if I didn't have that outlet, I would have been dead. I really feel that way. I would not be alive today if I would not have that outlet. Yep. Woo. So please, women, allow that to happen, because if you don't, if you don't, we're gonna hold it in and we ain't gonna let you know.
And that kind of goes back to what Shaq was saying. Everyone needs a release. Mm-hmm. Everyone needs a release. And I'm just so thankful for you.
Oh, thank you. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for all the sisters out there that's gone through things, and you've gotten the healing that you needed in your life, and you've not given up. You haven't given up on yourself. You haven't given up on love. You haven't given up on men. Like I said, it's, we still got some work to do. We all got some work to do. Believe me, I know my species. We got some work to do, but I am trying to do my part. And I know other men are trying to do their part. Once again, far from perfect, never claim to have wings on, but I'm trying to get there. I'm working towards being a man. Just because you have a penis between your legs and you're 21. No. See, people think just because you're 21 years old and you got a penis between your legs doesn't make you a man. That means you're male. Like Andre Whitfield wrote this book, Male versus Man. And it spoke to me because, you can be an adult and have penis between your legs. That makes you a male. Doesn't make you a man. You have to grow into your manhood. You have to understand what being a man is all about. The responsibilities of being a man is totally different than just being a male or being a boy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm growing into my manhood. I'm still growing into it. And I feel manly. Don't get me wrong. But once I get there and become the man I want to be, then everything that I'm supposed to have, I'm going to get. I guarantee you. That'll be the right woman in my life. That'll be the right job. That'll be everything. But I still got work to do. And I'm admitting that. Bottom line.
I was getting ready to end this, but I need 5 more minutes.
Got you. Yeah.
I want to know, because you just opening up so many things, and I'm just getting like I don't care at this point. Like I want to ask you. So what are some things that we as women need to work on in our, like, what do we need to work on? Like, what qualities do we need to work on? Like, how can you help us? I know you're a man. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, a woman wants to give that man their needs. What is something that you can tell these women out here? If it's only 2 or 3 qualities, what do we need to work on to get to where we are fulfilling your needs?
I mean, it's different for each man, to be honest with you. I tell people, and I don't want to get too crazy. I say at this point in my life, all I need is 2 P's. Peace and the other P.
P. Wait, what?
I said at this point in my life, all I need is 2 P's. Peace and the other P.
Really, Mike? Really?
I'm being no. So that's my joke, and I really feel that way. But peace goes a long way. You got to understand, peace goes a long way with me. Peace means a lot of things. It means the love you bring, means the type of communication we have, all that type of stuff. We can have a relationship. We're going to have conflicts every now and then, but it's got to be a peaceful conflict. It can't be an all-out war. I want women who are strong. I love women who are strong, somebody who has their own, somebody that, once again, wants but does not need me at the same time. But when I come home, when we're together, man, I just need peace because we're both dealing with so much out in the world. We don't need manufactured drama. So if you bring in manufactured drama and your tone is not right, that can be a problem. So that goes with the communication aspect of things. Learn how to talk to a person. And I'm not saying that women talk a certain way and you do it. Look, if your man like that, then your man likes that. Find out what your man likes. But some men like, hey, I'm not going to receive that. Honestly, I didn't receive certain things or how I was talked to. I felt disrespected. I'm still a man. I don't care who the hell you are, what you have. At the end of the day, I don't need you. I want you. But if you come at me the wrong way, I'm not going to want you anymore. And I'm still cool. And I can live my life without you or whatever. So I always say, man, look, when we talk, you got an issue with me. Let's just sit down and let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation. I don't need you to come in there and drag out argument, whatever. And that comes with, and I guess to answer your question, if a woman feels a certain way, let that shit off your chest earlier. Because if you hold it in and it builds up, guess how it's going to come out of your mouth? It's going to come out of your mouth sideways, and it's going to come out the wrong way, and we're not going to receive it the right way. That's all I'm saying. And so sometimes women will do the same thing that men do, except men will never let their feelings come out. Women will hold it into a point, and y'all got a pressure point. And once that pressure point gets there, y'all coming out gunning. Y'all coming out blazing. Y'all coming out hot. And when you come out hot like that, sometimes like, hey, wait, how you coming at me like that? And we're not going to receive that way. Okay. And we're not going to understand. We're not going to feel you. So once again, the communication is key. The peace is key. And we want you to be strong, but at the same time, understand that I'm a man too, and you're not going to emasculate me. So you ask me for, these are the things that I ask for in a relationship. Don't try and emasculate me, because at the same time, I'm a man. I don't care what kind of power you have. I don't care who you are. It's not going to work. And I guarantee you, if you come at me the wrong way and you come at me sideways and all that stuff, and then try and play the victim somewhere else, we ain't going to be together. I'm going to end it. You ain't got to end it. And whatever the consequences are after that, even if it's something that looks detrimental to me because I let go of something that was supposed to be special or whatever, believe me, I'm not dealing with that, bro. I'm not. I want my peace. My life is so important to me that I know self-preservation is not being selfish. It makes a lot of sense. I'm going to put my mask on first. I'm not being selfish. I'm going to put my mask on first, and I'm definitely going to pour into you whatever I have left. I promise you. But you're not going to deplete me to the point where I'm miserable. It is not going to happen. I don't care who you are. That goes for anybody. So you asking me, that's just me. Maybe I need to let that. Maybe I should have said that in therapy. Maybe I should have said that all in therapy or whatever. But we just had a therapy session right here. You asked me, and I'm just telling you that's exactly what I need right there. So I love strong women. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind a woman speaking her mind, but just like you want me to speak to you a certain way, speak to me a certain way too. Just because I'm a man don't mean you can start throwing bombs at me like that. It's not going to happen. Not now. Not happening.
Okay, I swear to God, I'm about to end this, but I got one more question, and this is about to be a bomb question. This is a bonus question, Michael.
Okay.
And I don't know if everybody ready for it.
Okay.
On a scale from 1 to 5, what is your freak meter?
7. Oh, yeah.
I said 5.
Oh, you said 5. I'm sorry.
5.
1 to 5, still 7. Yeah, I here's certain thing. Yeah. I just, this is one thing I don't like. There's one part of my body that's only for exiting only. I'll just say that. I'll leave that alone. The other stuff, we can get down with, you know what I mean? But ain't no in me. That ain't happening with me. Not. I don't even like getting the examination for prostates. I don't like that. That ain't me. Not saying that anything's wrong with that. If that's what you into, that's what you into. That's what you get, but not for me. So when it comes to me, yeah, I'm a pleaser. I'm definitely a pleaser. I don't feel like I'm doing it the right way.
So 7 for you? Let me write this down. Is 7 for you?
7 on a scale of 5. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
7.
7.
7 on a scale of 5.
Okay, I'm not gonna mess with you the rest. Like, I need
Yeah,
you
you better not.
to thank you, Michael.
Okay.
Because,
Thank
like I
you.
said, your resume is very long, and we appreciate you. You've been in this game for 29 years. You've been doing it, and I appreciate you. I love everything you've brought today because it's going to help someone. I know it is. I already know. So I appreciate you.
I
And
appreciate it. Thank you.
what do you have coming up next? What do we need to look out for? Is there anything that I know I'm gonna see you in these comedy streets?
Yeah, I got like 5 comedy shows next week. Started doing stand-up comedy about 3 months ago. And
Okay.
it's been another form of therapy. It's been great. I love being on stage. It's addictive, trying to make people laugh. It's been great. So I got a couple of shows next week in the LA area. So if you're around, come check me out. I'm not where I need to be yet, but you got to understand, man, I'm still having fun. I'm still with Fox Sports doing that on the weekends, doing college basketball right now through March. I'm doing some stuff over at KCAL 9 in the mornings on Wednesdays. Doing things with my production company, Thrill of Entertainment. I got a couple of projects I'm working on right now. So I'm staying busy. I'm booked and busy. Now I need to be paid and productive so I can become rested and invested. Huh?
No, I said I know that's right. Booked and busy and get paid during it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
want to see you with some of your shows. Just let me know.
Absolutely. I would love to have you guys come out. So come out and enjoy it. Like I said, I'm not where I need to be, but 2 years from now, I'm gonna have a Netflix special.
That's the thing. This is all
Two
about.
years, two
I
years from now, I will have a Netflix special for
already
my
know you will. I already know.
I'm claiming it.
You
I'm telling you,
got
big
it.
things. The next 20 years of my life are
Lion
gonna
on
be
you.
a special.
I know how lions move. Lions don't play.
Oh, I don't play. I'm not being cocky. I'm forecasting. I know
I
God put there in my heart. I know where I'm gonna be. I know what's gonna happen.
Well, thank you so much, y'all. Make sure y'all check out Mike's podcast, Done There, Been That. Follow him on Instagram. It's Mike Hill, y'all.
Yeah, thank you, Lynn. I
I
appreciate
love you so much, Mike. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Like I said, I know you did not have to be here. Thank you so much for your beautiful presence. I wish you the well. I would support any way I need to support.
Thank
I
you.
just think you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for being here on Clock It with Lynn, and have a pleasant and beautiful night.
You too. Can I answer one question? I see somebody
Ooh,
popped up.
yes. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. If you got
Okay.
questions, go.
I just said
I did. Hold on.
somebody had a question because
You see it? I didn't see it. Go.
I'm a person that always likes to, make sure that people understand what I'm saying. So she asked, can you talk about the difference between peace and submission? So I don't necessarily need, and I think sometimes people hear submission and they think that's a negative connotation or whatever. I don't like to use the word submission because it does to me have a negative connotation. I don't need you to submit to me. I don't need you to do as I tell you to do. If I say something, you just do it and just shut up. That's not the case. All I'm asking for when I say peace is if it's not there, don't make it up. You know what I mean? So sometimes we have manufactured drama. You ever hear somebody start a conversation by saying, what if, whatever, or somebody else has done something to them, and because you are related to that person's your friend, then all of a sudden that person's sins become your sins, and all of a sudden it's like that's not peaceful sometimes, man. Like I said, it's just like I understand that we're going to have some issues that we got to discuss every now and then. If I've done something wrong, I will take full accountability. I will admit it. I will say, okay, what we're going to do moving forward. But at the same time, I'm not ever going to say, hey, just shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it, blah, blah, blah. That's not, so that's submitting to somebody. Peace means we can have a conversation about it. And then if it gets to the point where we can't, settle it, in a very peaceful manner, then it means maybe we need to go our separate ways. And I'm at that age right now that lets me know, like, I mean, we're together, but we're not hostages with one another. You know what I mean? You don't have to be here. You got to be happy. And if you don't have your happiness and you don't have your peace, you don't have to be with me. So hopefully that answers your question, Francisca.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much because my eyes can't see.
Oh, Kelly's on here. My girl Kelly. I love Kelly. I don't know if Kelly heard me when I said I was, catching that garter at her wedding.
sister. Kelly is like me and Kelly go way.
That's
way.
me and Kelly go way back.
Go further.
We go back like members only jackets and Jerry curls. That's how we go. I love Kelly.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Mike, before you leave. I just want to make sure nobody answered because I was kind of neglecting the questions because what you were saying was so on point. And I just want everybody to kind of have a voice if there is something that they want to say. I'm just going through. They kind of saying the same stuff.
Yeah, we can do this again anytime. Like I said, I enjoy doing this, so this is fine. Like, thank you for allowing me to be myself and being truthful.
Great, and I appreciate you. I can't say it enough.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Keep on doing this, man. And anything I can do to help out, let me know. I'm here for you.
I think you have a great night. I appreciate you, and we don't care who's gonna win on Sunday, right?
I don't care. I just want a good game.
I
want Usher to win. I kind of want San Francisco to win. Like $1 million.
What's your thoughts on Kandi not coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta? What's your thoughts?
Hey man, she had a great run. Kandi's like, I'm gonna tell you right now, I've never had any issues out of any of the housewives on that show. None of them. I have none but love for them, and they've always treated me well. They ain't come at me sideways. Well, let me see. One of them, I ain't gonna go that far. But there was one. But Kandi's always been great. Kandi has always accepted me, and I know whatever Kandi got going on outside of Housewives, I know she's gonna win. I looked at some of the housewives, some of the women on that show, and I'm like, they don't need the show. The show needs them. And I believe that that's the case for Kandi. Kandi is somebody that once she's off the show, she was doing it before the show. The show didn't make her name, and she's going to be a even bigger name after the show. So some people need the show. Kandi doesn't need the show. So I wish her well and everybody in the family.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Well, thank you. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right. I'll talk. Okay. I love.
Honey.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed that show. Mike Hill came with some gems, honey. Child, he didn't told y'all he did not have any infidelity problems with Cynthia. That was something else. So, take that somewhere else. He did not cheat on Cynthia. The question of the day. He did not cheat on Cynthia. Great show. I appreciate him. He was great for discussion. He was great for grown people talk. He was great. Like, I hope more men saw how he talks about therapy. Therapy helped him in so many ways. Things that he went through with childhood trauma, all kinds of trauma, teenage trauma. And so I hope that raised a brow a little bit so people can kind of know, get it done, people. Get it done. All right. I love you guys. Thank you all for subscribing to my show. Clock In with Lynn on YouTube. My first 100 guests will be a part of my VIP group. You will have full access to all of this stuff before anyone. And I appreciate y'all. Good show. I have a show tonight. Talking to a newlywed, actually. So if you want to tune into that, it's going to be great. It's one of my sorority sisters. She's talking about her new found world of marriage, because this is the month of love. So we want to talk about it. All right. Love y'all. Bye. And I love y'all. Can't wait to see y'all. Come back at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock PSC. Love y'all. Bye.